Today we're gonna be talking about what's been going on lately in hip hop between Jim Jones and Nasir Jones, and we want to discuss just basically, who's the better MC? Does Jim Jones have a point? Does he have the right to say or think that he's as good or in the same class as the great Nasir Jones, the legend, as an MC because it's a competitive sport? Or is Jim Jones just simply trolling? I saw him going off of the Joe Budden's podcast about it, talking about numbers, that when the numbers was presented, he wanted to roll it back. What do you guys think about that? I think I know. But Rod da Bliss, what do you think?
Well, if it's a ploy to get more publicity his way or get the streams going up, it's bad. It's a bad attempt. Two, stop, love. Two, it's yeah, it's just common sense. Like, does he have an Illmatic? You know what I'm saying? Does he have a Stillmatic? Does he have it was written? Does he have the kind of joints that just make people go, okay, yeah, he's like real, like just like one of the most creative MCs ever in this game. Can he make a song like Wine? And the answer is no. So, you said it was it said it was his way to get more streams, going his way to blow him up, and it was just a bad attempt. So,
does Jim Jones have any point at all where he discusses a certain age demographic being more impacted by him? Nigel, what do you think about that? Do you think Jim Jones has any type of point or any leg to stand on when comparing himself to a hip hop juggernaut like Nas?
I mean, you gotta look at it from a lot of ways, man. And I'm saying this as an MC myself, right? And it's gonna be some contradicting stuff with my point. As an MC, you're not gonna say nobody's better than you. You know what I'm saying? You're just not. Now, it's a fine line between respect and all that kind of stuff, but you also got to factor in the fact that they already had issues already. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird with that. Now, as far as the point of like people who are in their 20s, there was a gap in time where Dipset was Dipset. And there's a group of people that are now functioning adults with jobs and riding around and all that. And that's all they know. That was their version, not of Nas, but that was their version of what it is, right? And so it's an argument that nobody wins at all, because Jim can easily say, yo, I got people that know me from 25 to 36 that will not put one of your records on. And Nas can say, yo, I have a whole culture that I've shifted. But he's also an MC. So if I'm currently putting out music, of course I'm gonna feel like I can go toe to toe with anybody. I don't think you work that hard to not go toe to toe. Big L was better than Nas, but Nas wanted to beat Big L. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think, and of course the people that we gotta really compare Nas to aren't here. You know what I'm saying? So it's a weird way to kind of get to the point of where Jim is coming from and say that he can't say these things. Now, maybe niggas may not like his approach, you know what I'm saying? But he's an MC at the end of the day. That's in the game right now.
Oh, you can't have a real conversation. Okay. But do you think that Jim Jones is fucking with Nas? I'm just going to say it that way.
Lyrically? Come on, man. Nas is a juggernaut. Yo, it's two different types of MCs. Even Jim said he grew up to Nas. You know what I'm saying? So that right there already shows that he's conceding to who Nas is. We all know who Nas is, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was putting the whole context into a versus battle, not Nas writing a rhyme, Jim writing a rhyme over a beat and attacking each other. And that's how people are looking at it. Like, yo, nah, Nas, da-da-da-da-da-da, because Nas has Ether under his belt. Ether is undefeated against everything. You know what I'm saying? I was looking at it from a versus battle of, okay, what song can Nas play? What song can Jim play? You know what I'm saying? Not picking teams on this. And I think hip hop kind of get weird like that because we have like this allegiance to something. Just keep it hip hop. Keep it hip hop and put it on an actual table. And I think you'll start to see where Nas' strengths are and where Jim's weaknesses are, and vice versa, if it was really put on the table. Because there are gaps in Nas's career where he wasn't making music. You know what I'm saying? And that has nothing to do with who Nas is. And I think that's where people want the conversation to go, because that's an easy one. And Nas is a no-brainer, different kind of godly artist. But in a versus battle, if you got 23-year-olds in that crowd, 27-year-olds in that crowd, Nas is going to play a song that's going to make our face ugly as shit that they will be clueless to, and vice versa. So that's something that I think really should be looked at, and not just saying, yo, Nas is Nas, because that's also true. But in the versus battle, the right song with the wrong beat can sway the audience, or an old song that we appreciate can sway the audience. So it's not as cut and dry when it goes beyond who's the better MC. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ask me, I'm better. Like, what MC gonna say? I mean, I'm like why are you writing if you're not gonna say you better? You know what I'm saying? Now, being disrespectful is something else. I just think it got very competitive between them two, and then it's up for us to, have this.
So let me ask you this, just a little pushback. So the kid, I agree that there probably is a demographic of kids, and I remember them, who was all on the Dipset stuff. I didn't understand it. What was his biggest record? We Fly High, Ballin'. They loved that shit. That was like 05 or something like that. I never heard anything that he did that I thought anywhere nearly approached anything that Nas has done, in my opinion, even from a numbers standpoint, from sales or anything like that. I do think that there's some young people that may feel that way, but is it because they're just not educated on music, not educated on hip hop? But just because I like Michael Jackson didn't mean I didn't know who James Brown was. If a James Brown came on, I wasn't like, oh, that's trash.
That's like a Michael Jackson, Chris Brown conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you will have people that love Michael Jackson forever, but then you also got Chris Brown. It's just a matter of
Chris Brown doesn't even think he's as good as Michael Jackson.
I mean, but that's him being respectful. You know what I'm saying? But as far as impact-wise, no, he's not. Michael Jackson had a Michael Jordan type impact. Nas had a Michael Jordan type impact. You know what I'm saying? Jim hasn't had a Michael Jordan type impact. It's hard to compare yourself to that. You know what I'm saying? On a grand
so therefore, can he even be in the same sentence as Nasir Jones, the godson, as Escobar, Nasty Nas?
I think it's about your palette. I think it's about your song preference and the kind of songs you rock with. And me personally, I'm gonna lean more towards Nas, that's an unfair comparison, because I grew up with Nas's music, the Train track. I was there. Like that was a soundtrack for me. You know what I'm saying? By the time Dipset got on the scene, that was also a soundtrack. You know what I'm saying? But it catered more to that demographic. You know what I'm saying? And, there's an age gap, and there's a little bit of, wisdom there and all that kind of stuff. But it's hard to say, man, when you say, can you put somebody in the same categories? If you're talking about rhymes, or we talking about impact?